Sir Henry O'Neill de Segrave was born on the 22nd of September 1896. Like that other quintessential Englishman, Winston Churchill, he had an aristocratic English father and an American mother, but unlike Churchill, he was also born in America. But like most men of his era, he was fiercely proud of being British. In a life that was almost impossibly glamorous, he went to Eton, he joined the Royal Flying Corps as a World War I fighter pilot, and only gave up flying after being severely wounded for the second time in combat. He eventually, after the war, became a racing driver. His first significant success was in 1921 at Brooklands, which he won a race in a Darroch. He then became the first Briton to win a Grand Prix in a British car, winning the French Grand Prix at Tours in a race that lasted for very nearly 6 hours. But by 1926, his focus had changed, and he wanted to claim the land speed record. His first car was a Sunbeam Tiger that he nicknamed Ladybird, and he rushed down the slightly less glamorous Southport Beach at over 150 miles an hour. And that's an incredible speed for 1926, when you think that probably at that time most road cars had a top speed of about 40 miles an hour. The competition hotted up, and this called for a new car, the 1,000 horsepower Sunbeam, nicknamed somewhat less charismatically as the Slug. It claimed its power loudly on its flanks, although in truth its twin Matabele 22-litre aircraft engines probably provided closer to 900 brake horsepower, and that just goes to prove that hype in motorsport is nothing new. On the 29th of March 1927, Sir Henry Segrave took the car to Daytona Beach, Florida, and claimed a new land speed record. Not only did he break the record, he set a new benchmark at over 200 miles an hour. So that he could maintain his record attempts, he commissioned Golden Arrow, whilst also designing the Saro Segrave Meteor, an early version of what we would probably now call an executive six-seater aeroplane. Segrave's only run in the Golden Arrow brought him the record 231 miles an hour. He drove it purely to set the record, and to this day that car has travelled less than 25 miles under its own power. Sir Henry Segrave was widely feted at home for his successes and was greatly in demand at shows and at exhibitions.
This is the car which went to America in February of this year to try and get back the world speed record then held by America at a speed of 207 miles an hour. And as you know, we were lucky enough to get this record back, the maximum speed that this car did being an average of 231.5 miles an hour over the measured mile. This car has actually only been driven, yes, I think I'm right in saying actually only been driven for about 10 minutes of its total life. Which 10 minutes, in that time rather, we were enabled to do the record and complete the job and come back here.
2 days after Segrave had gained the record, he went as a very interested spectator to see a homemade 3-engine device try to gain the land speed record back for the USA. Its driver, one Lee Bible, lost control at the end of his run and crashed fatally. Unfortunately, Segrave was one of the first to arrive at the scene, and the accident and this experience led him to abandon any further plans for the land speed record. But there was a new challenge: the world water speed record. After the land speed record attempt, he had been to Miami to take part in a motorboat race against Garfield Wood. Garwood as he was known, multiple world water speed record holder, and the first man to travel at over 100 miles an hour on water. Segrave won, causing Wood's first defeat in 9 years. After Segrave returned to Great Britain, he was knighted for his many accomplishments. After a few months after receiving his knighthood, on Friday the 13th of June, Sir Henry Segrave unknowingly captured the water speed record, driving Miss England 2 on England's largest natural lake, Lake Windermere. In a follow-up run, the boat presumably hit a log. Certainly we do know that it capsized, killing Miss England's mechanic, Victor Halliwell, and Segrave's unconscious body was recovered and taken to hospital. He regained consciousness for a moment, was informed that he had indeed broken the record, then died just a few minutes later of lung hemorrhages. This plaque recalls his home at 6 St Andrew's Mansions in the heart of London's West End, but H.O.D. Segrave will be remembered as a patriotic daredevil who achieved much in his short life. He was 33 years old when he died.